Good morning, everyone. Just settling in. How are we all doing? Did we all have a good weekend? Mother's Day. Did we all get treated for Mother's Day, those of us that are mothers? And if not, did we treat our mothers as well? Yeah, good. Okay. All right, well, how's the body? All right? Not too bad? Recovering from Saturday? Why, what did you do Saturday? Bit of yoga, 2 hours of yoga Saturday. Madness. Good. Yeah. Okay, well, the same applies. Have we got any first time today? First time? With me, yeah. Okay, welcome. Okay. First time with me, but not to yoga, right? We've experienced a little bit of yoga before, both of us. Yeah. Okay, it might be similar, it might be really different. Yoga expresses itself in lots of different ways, and obviously it's our job as the guide to sort of transmit that or translate that, interpret that, and then deliver. You know, so obviously try to experience it with an open mind. There's a camera in the room, it's not pointed at any of you, it's just at me, so that you can all check back in later if you want to. It'll be uploaded online to YouTube, to the website, so you can revisit the practice basically. So yeah, don't pay any attention. I'll try to give options for different positions when we move through our practice. Sometimes I do forget, so it doesn't mean they're not there if I forget. But by options, I mean, you know, if we're going into a more challenging position, I might offer a slightly less challenging version or approach to that position. But it's also your job as well to kind of discover your version and what's available and what's not to the body, as opposed to I can or can't do something. We want to try to employ the mindset that something's unlocked or it's not quite yet unlocked, or it will be one day, or maybe it was once and now it's not anymore, and not to be too attached to those kind of results, if you like. It's all a journey, isn't it? And that journey constantly evolves. You know, so too does yoga, generally speaking, in the way that it's expressed across the world. But independently, that journey evolves, and as it manifests through us in our practice, it evolves as well, as a group and independently and individually, you know. And we know already with the Monday practices, we're trying to move a little bit quicker, we're challenging ourselves a little bit more in terms of the body, but maybe with the mind and with the breath as well. And then on Wednesdays, we're a lot more form and alignment heavy. That one's a little bit more of a torturous practice because we spend much longer in the positions, so it can be quite demanding in a different way. Whilst I tend to go around the room pulling on arms and legs and things. And then Friday, we're normally very gentle and we take a restorative practice. So we're on our backs and twisting and just melting into the mat and trying to stay awake normally. All right. Have we got ailments or injuries or conditions or anything relevant to our practice that I need to know about that I don't already know about? Recently? Okay. What was it for? A lipoma maybe, or? Okay, was it a lipoma or something like that? Okay, but the tendon was affected, was it? Yeah. Okay. When we lower down and we come back up, you know, like the press up style, yeah, be careful. Maybe you put the knees down and go very gentle, but you don't have to, remember, you don't have to force. And actually that's a reminder, we don't, even though we are challenging ourselves a little bit more on a Monday, we might head more towards that vinyasa ashtanga bracket, you know, where we're transitioning quite quickly, and we've been working, some of us, bouncing forwards, haven't we? The bunny hops and jump throughs and all of that sort of malarkey. We don't have to do it. We don't, you know, we can find a gentle version. We can step instead of bounce, or crawl, or just mess it all together and do something, you know, wait for the next position to arrive. All right? Anyone else? No? Have we got any questions or statements or requests? No? Okay, that's good stuff. All right, well, we're seated, so we'll start seated. Just sit nice and tall, but try and sit soft and easy in the legs. So if cross-legged feels comfortable and it feels okay, then sit like that. There's Siddhasana, where we tuck the sole of the foot to the inside of the thigh. It's kind of like a softer version of Padmasana. Or we can take that lotus, half lotus, with the feet, one foot up on top of the thigh, or just a gentle cross-leg, or legs out in front, whatever feels like a nice, cosy position. Okay. We sit tall in the spine. We're under compression, so we know we want to just activate enough to sit nice and tall. But soften through the arms, soften in the legs. So just bringing the awareness to the body as we arrive on the mat, observing head to toe. Be aware of areas of tension or aches and pains. Maybe there's injuries, maybe we have a condition that we're aware of that's subtly speaking to us, niggling away, maybe a sore knee or a bit of inflammation somewhere, or perhaps it's the opposite. We feel particularly well and energetic and charged. There's a little buzz or a hum of warmth in the muscles of the body ready to move. Or maybe we're somewhere between the two. Just observing the body without condition or expectation. And then shifting the awareness a little deeper to the body of breath. So making sure we expand the tummy and the rib cage, the chest, as we lift the heart on the inward breath. And then when we exhale, be mindful of that grounding, sinking sensation as we shrink and push out that last bit of breath. Nice deep cycles of balanced breathing. In through the nose, and then out through the nose or the mouth. One last shift of the awareness. So those little fluctuations of the mind, the movement of thought. It's much easier for us to take stillness in the body, but to still the mind's a little more challenging. As that inner child, the self, the ego grasps at different thoughts. We're just gently detaching, a very soft detachment from that movement as we observe quietly. Again, not looking for conclusion or answer to those thoughts. Just gently watching, still aware of the breath, aware of the body. And the next deep inward breath, starting to reach the arms wide and high, really lengthening through the spine, option to drop the head back and lift the chin. As we exhale, starting to fold over the legs, soften through the spine, support the weight, slide or walk the hands away. We're not challenging ourselves to get the head to the floor. Just lengthen through the lower back. Notice the tension in the glutes, the hips, the knees here. Rounding off to rise, shrugging the shoulders, tuck the chin, the hands slide back to catch the knees in the palms. If the legs are out in front, we'll just bring the hands over the knees. Try to sink backwards, downwards with the weight here as we round off and release the breath. And as we inhale, rolling the shoulders back, coming forwards, lifting the heart and the chin. Exhalation to sink down and back. Inhalation to come forwards, upwards. Push out through the tailbone too. And outward breath, sinking down and back again. As we rise through a neutral position, bring the hands to heart center. Connect the palms, then inhale to reach up. Exhalation, lean into the left side, bringing that left palm towards the earth, a bend in the left arm. We're just deliberately stretching down the right side of the body. There's an option to turn the neck and look up from underneath the armpit. Another inward breath to expand the rib cage, push into the right hip. Exhalation to soften, come back up through the center. Left hand meets the right. Stretching on the inhalation and sinking to the right side on the exhalation. Inhale to expand the ribcage and exhale to soften and come back up through the center. One last time, each side, left hand towards the ground, leaning towards the left side, big deep breath to expand. Exhalation, come up to the center. Inhalation to reach to the sky. Exhalation, down to the right side. And inward breath to expand and release. Back in the middle. On the next outward breath to fold over the legs. A little deeper this time. Again, slide the hands forwards. Take a bow. And then rounding off to rise. Bringing the hands to heart center. Slowly sit nice and straight. Preparing for a twist to the left side. So reaching up. Inhalation. Exhale, twist to the left, right hand, back of the left knee. Draw that left arm out and around. Really expose the armpit, leaning into the heel of the palm. Sit tall to pop the chest. Inward breath. Exhale to twist a little deeper. Make sure it's in the spine here and we're not forcing the neck too much. And using that right hand over the back of the left knee like an anchor point to pull against, just to deepen the twist slightly. For 5, 4, 3, 2. And 1. Staying tall as we come back through the center. Connect the palms. Anjali Mudra. Inhale to reach up. Exhalation to the opposite side. Left hand back of the right knee. Draw that left arm out and around towards the rear of the mat. Lean into the heel of the palm. Pop the chest. Shoulder away from the ear. We push the earth away to sit tall. Exhalation to twist a little deeper. And we're pulling on the back of that right knee with the left hand. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Gently coming back through the center, the hands connect to our heart space. We'll bring the shoulders into play. So we now to reach up. Backs of the palms meet the arms, swan dive down towards the tailbone. Tuck the chin to facilitate that. As we interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders back, wave through the heart, lift the chin. Sit forward slightly here, push out through the tailbone. If the shoulders allow, then we can start to bring the hands away from the tailbone. Straighten the arms, but don't force the elbows to lock. Big deep breaths to broaden across the heart space. Feel the breath rise up to the heart and lift. For 3. For 2. And for 1. Exhalation, hands back towards the tailbone, starting to round off again as we bring the palms over the knees, tuck the chin, shrug the shoulders, sink down and back. Inhalation coming forwards, upwards, shifting those hands, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chin. And exhalation as we round off and release. Hands back past the hips. Just bring the legs out in front for a little bit of movement as we rock side to side. That's it. Just try to activate the glutes a little bit each time we drop over to one side. So we're almost pushing the pelvis and tensing up slightly, pushing into that hip off to the side. Maybe even popping the chest slightly as well, bringing the shoulders into play, pulling them back as we tip over. For 5. Just got to knock the rust off. For 4. For 3. For 2. And back to center for 1. A gentle reverse tabletop, or if the shoulders allow and the body feels ready, we can go quite high. So fingertips point forwards, roll the shoulders back. We're about 4 inches off at an angle from the hips here. Roll the shoulders back. We have to guess where we need to put the heels just to get that distance right between hands and feet. As we inhale, start to lift. It might feel right just to stay fairly gentle and low here, or perhaps without cramping up, we can lift the hips a little higher, expand the tummy. Option to drop the head back. Try to notice the sensation in the feet here. Do you want to pull the toes back, or do you want to grip at the earth with the toes? There's no right or wrong answer here. But see what the body asks for as we push into the heels and really ground. Big deep breath, expand the tummy, and then exhalation to release tailbone. Back down to the earth, hover it back to between the palms. Long legs here, option to float for a moment, and then sink down, sit forwards, push forwards with the heart space. Always lead with the chest as the arms go wide and high, reach up. Dandasana. Nice and tall here, pushing out through the tailbone, activate through the legs. So almost tense up those muscles, those big muscles on the front of the thighs. For 3, for 2, and for 1, starting to fold over the legs, Paschimottanasana. As soon as you feel that deep tension in the hamstrings and lower back, start to wave through the spine to rise up a little higher again. Take the bind around the heels or the ankles. And then lifting the chin on the outward breath, push the chest and abdomen closer towards the thighs on the descent. Inhale to start that wave again and rise slightly, lengthen the spine. Exhalation to sink a little deeper. And just begin to move with the pace of the breath. We know it's not choreography, we're not dancing, unless you really want to. Then by all means, have a little dance. Again, just a little bit of movement to wake the spine up. Wake the hamstrings, backs of the legs. On the next descent, releasing the breath, sink down a little deeper in the fold. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Slowly beginning to rise, sliding those hands up the legs until they arrive in front of the heart, palms connected. Inhale to reach up. Exhale as backs of the palms meet, another bind behind the tailbone. Tuck the chin, shrug the shoulders, then roll them back, open the heart, lift the hands away. Option to activate the legs. Pull the feet back here and start to lead with the heart space. Chin lifted in a fold over the legs. Don't force it though. But notice the demand to really activate here, especially with the core. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Slowly beginning to rise, hands descend towards the tailbone before a gentle release. So return to that reverse tabletop. So adjust the knees and the heels, roll the shoulders back, lead with the heart, and then push up and out through the navel, drop the head back if it's accessible. If a gentle reverse tabletop feels right for you, just take it soft. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This time lowering the tailbone towards the heels. Start to round off the spine when the tailbone touches and sweep the hands around towards the front. You want to tuck the chin, activate the core, a slow descent down into our Setu Bandha Chaturanga, our bridge position. So hands down past the hips and push the hips up towards the sky. We can externally rotate the arms to turn the palms out for this one. That helps to bring the shoulder blades underneath the back so that we can really open the heart space. For 5, pushing the hips up towards the sky. Deep cycles of breath for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. As we exhale, lowering the hips back down towards the earth. We can take the arms wide here to drop the knees left to right, right to left. And just soften through the upper body. Allow the legs to be loose and floppy as well. A little bit of movement for the hips and the lower back. As we come back to the center in stillness, one by one, bring the knees up and in towards the abdomen. We'll hug around the shins. Option to lift the nose or the forehead to knee on the outward breath. Really shrink and activate the core again. And then crossing the feet, preparing to rock through into our high plank position, our Phalakasana. So we want to rock forwards into a seated position, ground the palms, and then step the legs back into that high press up position. When you push the earth away, grip with the fingertips. It's a hollow palm here, so get those knuckles off, just the heel of the palm and the fingertips. Grasping at the earth, tuck the tailbone slightly. Then we'll drop the knees, chest, chin or forehead, Chaturanga Dandasana. A baby cobra, just looking up using the lower back to lift on the inward breath. Outward breath to take a bow. And inhale, a little bit of help from the hands. Pull the shoulders back, lift the chin, keep the hips down. Exhalation, a slow descent, preparing for upward facing dog. So tuck the toes, start your wave through the body. As we rise up, hips off for this one, really push the earth away, lift the chin. And then back, but across the knees, keep them grounded. Slide the hands back a few inches here. Then round off the spine, tuck the tailbone and chin, Madhyasana. Inhalation to drop the spine for Vittalasana. And we want to lift up and out through the crown of the head. Really push the earth away still. Make sure we don't slouch in this position. Long arms, active. Exhale for the cat or the female cat, interestingly. And inhale for Vittalasana. Exhalation, Madhyasana. One last cycle through those breaths, through the movements. Outward breath to round off. And then back to a neutral position to prepare for our twist in Baddhamanasana. So push into the heel of the left palm, sweep the right arm up towards the sky, pulling that right shoulder back. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Exhalation to change sides. Ground through that right palm, left arm sweeps up. Again, pushing the right shoulder towards the left side, pulling the left shoulder back. For 3, for 2, and for 1 to release that left hand towards the earth. We might need to step them a couple of inches forwards as we tuck the toes. Try to lift the knees and hover for a brief second, then slide the weight backwards, upwards, heavy heels towards the mat. Feel that stretch in the back of the legs and use the fingertips to push the front of the mat away as we push up and out through the tailbone in Adho Mukha Svanasana. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Let's commence a walk here. So wiggling the hips side to side as we start to walk towards the front of the mat. You can go on the tiptoes if the body allows. And we'll arrive together in a halfway lift. Slight bend in the knees here is fine if the hamstrings feel tight. Peek forwards. Exhalation to fold. Uttanasana. Rounding off through the spine to rise all the way to the top. Arms sweep wide and high. Chins last to lift. Find that prayer position. Exhalation, the arms dive down wide towards the earth. We'll step the left leg back up. Anjaneyasana. Drop that left knee, untuck the toes. Try and keep the right knee above the right ankle. Choose to stay low, but lengthen the spine and lift the chin if you do, or rise and reach. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to reach. Exhale to frame that front foot for the half split. Rock back, Ardha Hanumanasana. Look forwards, rise, lengthen the spine. Make sure we don't sit back onto that rear heel, and then fold over the leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shift the weight forwards again. Frame the foot, tuck the toes, lift the rear knee. You can change it in a way that suits the body, or a little bit explosively, we push the earth away and switch the legs. Bring that right knee to the earth. Again, choose to stay low, maybe on the fingertips. Lengthen the spine, lift the chin, or rise and reach. And we're reaching with our arms towards the sky, but at the same time, sinking towards the earth with the groin, heavy left heel, really grounding through that left foot. Inhalation, rising slightly. Exhalation, release the hands, frame the foot. Let's rock back again, straighten the leg and the spine. Inward breath, outward breath to fold over the leg. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Shifting the weight forwards, tuck the toe, lift the knee, and step back for a high plank, then low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Knees, chest, chin, all with control, slow and steady. Wave through the body, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Upward facing dog, lift the chin. Then tuck the toes, up and back with the tailbone, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's have a walk now. A little bit of tension in the hamstrings and the lower back, so just to release that. If we bend the left leg, remember, tip the bottom to the left side, but still push towards the rear of the mat. And when we bend on the right knee, tip the bottom to the right, push towards the rear. Nice little accentuated stretch of whichever leg's straight. As we walk towards the front of the mat again, another halfway lift, flatten the back. But this time, bend the knees, scoop at the earth, Utkatasana. Really reach out through the arms. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 to rise and bring the hands down to heart center. Samasthiti. Try to soften the legs and the shoulders here, a long tall spine, and bring the awareness to the breath. Deep cycles of breath. As we exhale, releasing the hands down by the side, palms face forwards. Inhalation to reach wide and high, gaze skywards. Outward breath with a long spine, arms nice and long, working their way down via the front this time. Take a bow all the way in. Option to send the hands back past the legs and point the fingertips towards the rear of the mat. Again with long arms, push out through the tailbone and activate as we pull in. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Sweeping the arms towards the front, bend the knees, Utkatasana. We won't stay. Inhale to reach, exhale to release the hands for Chaturanga Dandasana. Wave through the body, upward facing dog. Lift the chin, and downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right leg to the sky, Tripada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Option to point out through the toes or to pull them back and push out through the heel. There's a heavy left heel here as well. Stretch that left leg. Then step under for warrior 2 on the right. Virabhadrasana. Remember to windmill that arm up and around. Straighten the front leg slightly as we inhale, then exhale. Find your alignment on the way down. So we're pulling the left shoulder, left hip back. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the hands to heart center or towards the earth for Skandasana. Rock the weight back, bend that rear leg, sink down nice and deep. Don't worry if you're up here somewhere or even here. You've got to work with what's available to the body. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Start to crawl towards the front for that revolved runner's lunge or hover there. Ground the left palm, ball of the rear foot, right arm sweeps towards the sky. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reach away, push the earth away. Exhale to frame the foot. Kick back, hover that long leg above the ground and take a Chaturanga Dandasana. Then release, wave through the body up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. It's the left leg that sweeps up, Tripada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Option to keep the hips parallel to the earth for this one. And then step under for warrior 2 on the left side. Ground that rear heel, sweep the arm up and around, then sink down. Don't feel like you can't have a look to where that rear arm is, just to make sure it's where you're asking it to go. That front knee's above the front ankle. Don't let it drop in. And then bring the hands back for Skandasana. Rock the weight back and down for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Stay nice and low. Crawl or float towards the front. Ground the right palm. Ball of the rear foot. Really activate that rear leg. Nice and straight and long. Reach left arm towards the sky. Try and say that 10 times fast. Push the earth away. Then exhale, release the left hand. Frame that left foot and kick the leg back. Float it out. Push out through the heel, then lower. Ekapada Chaturanga. Urdhva and Adho. Mukha Svanasana. Look to the front. We can take a walker step or maybe a bunny hop, or if we're practicing the bunny hop, a little donkey kick, like a child trying to handstand towards the front of the mat. Back to chair, Utkatasana when we're ready. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up and sink down. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and on 1. Inhale to reach slightly. Exhale to release the hands. Straighten the legs out through the tailbone. Uttanasana. Take a bind here. So ankles or maybe backs of the calves to pull in. Deep cycles of breath as always. As we start to release that tension, slowly walking our way up the legs, uncoiling the spine, slowly lifting the chin as the arms go wide and high. Really reach up, a slight back bend here, so push the hips just in front of the ankles, long arms, expand the tummy on the inward breath. Outward breath to bring the hands back down through heart center. Take a fold and just pull in momentarily in your forward fold. And as we start to rise again, we'll take the big toe on the right foot. As we bend that right knee on the outside of the right arm, Hasta Padangusthasana. Option to bring left hand to hip, hold on to a wall or the person next to you. It's dominoes then, isn't it? Or bring the hand to heart center. Mudita is to lengthen or to extend if that feels like it's available. And remember, if we're just hanging onto the knee, we're practicing, that's fine as well, or even a floating knee. Whatever's accessible. Now bring the foot in Vrikshasana, the tree. So bring the sole of the foot above the knee, below the knee, or maybe we can ground on the ball of the foot. And try to keep that left shoulder and the right knee parallel to the front of the mat. This might feel like it's enough, or we can continue to move here, really lengthen towards the sky. As we release that right hand down towards the inside of the right knee, start to push into the left hip, expand the left side. Keep that left shoulder pulling back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking the right hand towards the right big toe without falling over like Andy did, and then starting to extend the right leg out towards the outside simultaneously with the left arm, hopefully. Everything comes back towards the center, a double bind around the heel. If we're still working with that bent knee, that's fine as well. Option to fold over the leg. And then hopefully with a little bit of grace, release the leg towards the ground. Tadasana. So we need to activate here and energize. Bring the legs together, maybe big toes and heels. If it doesn't feel like too much of a struggle to balance, roll the shoulders back. Activate the arms and the legs here, unlike Samastiti. It's a common confusion. Here we fully activate. Ground through the soles of the feet. Take those deep, nourishing nasal breaths, but constrict the back of the throat here. We speed up the breath and fan that internal furnace, that fire, tejas, in the Manipura chakra, the solar plexus. next exhalation, beginning to soften. Let the arms fall floppy and heavy and loose. Start to shrug the shoulders and tuck the chin. The knees begin to bend. We search for the ground with the fingertips. We're going to return to Utkatasana, the fierce pose. So sweep the arms wide and high with that bend in the knees. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and the 1 for the fold. Uttanasana, push out through the tailbone. Inhalation to halfway lift. Exhalation back to the fold. We're not staying, bind left hand to left big toe as we rise. Same as before, let the knee travel up the outside of that left elbow, right hand to heart center. Before we extend, hasta is the hand, pada means foot, angushta is the big toe, hasta padangushtasana. We take a bend in that left leg as we bring the foot in for vrikshasana, the tree on the opposite side. Hands to heart center. And this might feel like it's enough of a challenge, or we can reach up towards the sky and then start to take that bend. We've got this tree swaying in the wind, back of the left wrist on the inside of the right knee. Same as we did at the beginning in our seated position, we were breathing into the rib cage on the right side. Search with the left hand for the big toe, and then start to extend at the same time, left leg and right arm. For 3, for 2, and for 1, bringing it back through the center, hopefully without that right leg burning out just yet. As we lengthen and begin to fold. Little bend in the left leg to release. Tadasana. Bring everything close together. Start to activate again. Roll the shoulders back. Long arms, lift the chin very slightly. That Ujjayi breath again. So that breath like we're fogging up a mirror or breathing on a window. Just to speed up the air as it travels down. Warms it up to activate Anahata and Manipura. Softening again on the exhalation. Allowing the arms to be loose and heavy. Starting to bend the knees, shrug the shoulders, tuck the chin. Search for the earth with the fingertips. So return to Utkatasana, the chair. Sweep the arms wide and high. For 3, 2, and 1. As we bring the hands to the earth, straighten the legs very slightly, bow in. Then push the earth away as we float back for our Chaturanga. A wave through the body. Urdhva. Lift the chin, push the earth away here. And Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a little walk on the spot. There's lots of tension in the legs and lower back we need to release now. Good. And then preparing for our jump through towards Nava, the boat. Widen the hands towards the outside of the mat. Remember, if we're practicing our jump throughs, we can cross right foot over towards the left side and bring left foot as far as is available towards the right side, and we can rock backwards as well to go through a seated position. So that's the beginning of that sort of transition. That, as it is, might feel very challenging for some of our bodies. The rest of us that are working a little closer to bringing the legs under, try to get that air time as we come forwards and then out in front. Good. And we've got an option to go down onto the forearms here, onto the elbows, or maybe even bring the hands out behind if it helps. And equally, an option to extend, straighten the legs. Try to sit tall here. And we'll just hold here for the next 10 minutes now. I'm only joking. 4, 3, 4, 2. And on one towards either the half plough or the full plough. Be kind to the neck. Half plough is feet to the sky, full plough is feet over the head. If the toes touch, it's fine to have arms extended. But if they don't touch yet, maybe catch the rib cage here and just support the weight of the tailbone. If we feel very open here and there's availability in the neck, in the spine and in the shoulders, maybe bring the hands to interlace behind the middle back, elbows push towards the earth first, and then start to lengthen through the arms in our bind. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and on 1, start to bend the knees wherever we are here and allow a slow descent to that hugging position around the shins. So really round off, let the head and shoulders rise as the tailbone sinks, release the breath. Setu Bandha Chaturanga, another bridge, so ground soles of the feet, knees are up, hands down past the hips. Tuck the shoulder blades one at a time here to broaden the chest, then lift the hips up. Again, option to interlace, bind the hands. And you'll notice the arms externally rotate if we soften around the shoulder blades here when we do that. So we end up pushing the deltoid and the tricep, those muscles on the upper and the back of the arms, and push into the earth there. And really expand the tummy on the inhalation. And when we push out the outward breath, notice that tension in the abdomen, that vacuum sensation as it sucks inwards. That becomes important later on for certain approaches to pranayama. On the exhalation, hips down towards the earth. Gently release the bind. Don't let the arms ping off too violently. Then send them wide as we drop the knees side to side. Little rock left to right, right to left. Then we come back to stillness. Bring the soles of the feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana, that reclined angle that we bind there when the feet joint to join those two angles of the legs. And we want to tuck the tailbone very slightly. Bring the lower back a little closer to the earth, then release. Let the knees be heavy. Arms can stay wide here. Or if it feels a little better to close off, we can bring the hands to those chakra, those energy centers in the heart space and the solar plexus. Or maybe the shoulders need a little more opening, and we can interlace the fingers, bring them up behind the back of the head, behind the Bindu chakra. And then we have open hips, open shoulders. Just take a few moments to let the body sink and be heavy here. We can choose to stay as we are. Or we can release our bind and bring the hands down underneath the outside of the thighs. We'll push the elbows into the mat. Use the strength in the arms to ease the knees closed. Take any last movements the body might call for you. Or if we feel ready, then extending arms and legs length and width of the mat for Shavasana, the final position. So breathing awareness into the body. Again, lifting the heart with the inward breath. Bringing gentle movement into the fingers, into the toes. The wrists, the ankles. Maybe lengthening through the legs, pointing the toes, taking the arms over the head. Nice stretch through the entire body. Or taking some other journey that feels appropriate as we slowly make our way towards a seated position when we're ready. Let's breathe together one last time as we reach wide and high. Inhalation, connecting the palms above the head. And exhalation, bringing the thumbs to third eye for the Mahamrityunjaya. Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Suganthim Pushtivardhanam Uvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshyam Amritat. Bring the hands to heart. Om Namah Shivaya.